Hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Elise with Onyx and Sage Studios. Today we're going to be talking about Lightroom and how utilizing brushes in Lightroom can really elevate your images. Let's take a look at some of the images we've taken and add it together. Okay, so we went up to North Shore in Duluth and took these pictures of this amazing couple. This is my friend here and her husband. We do this every single year. We found this spot a few years back scouting locations for a maternity session, and we've just been going back since. You can obviously see why. It's absolutely stunning. We are going to start with our preset of choice. This Onyx and Sage collection that we have coming out here in July. I'm not going to name the name yet because it's new, but I'm going to apply my preset right away. I'll talk more on this preset later, but right now we're going to jump into how I would edit this. So obviously this is the one click with my preset. I'm going to adjust my exposure with this because obviously it is too dark. So my computer's catching up. Okay, so I like making sure that there is still a highlight point on my clients' faces, making sure that everything is visible, and making sure that this, for the most part, is in focus. It is a little bit of a distance shot, so it's not as sharp as I would like, but it is what it is. Okay. So I love this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna leave that there. I like the highlights here. I like how everything is visible. However, the background really, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, but we really wanna add depth to that. So I'm going to be adding my radial gradient filter. This is not necessarily a brush, but I like doing this because it just personally to me adds focus on them. So I'm going to show you here what this looks like, excuse me, without the red on it, just so that you can see it without that highlight. We're gonna bring this down. So you're gonna be able to see what that's going to look like. I would never do it too much, but I really love how that kind of sets them apart here. So that is what the image looks like now. You can kind of see that they are more of the focus here. Okay, now this is where it gets fun with the brushes. I am going to add my first brush and I'm going to go down to my clarity. I'm a huge texture person, so I love seeing the details, the textures, especially outside and it being earthy. I really want to bring that out a little bit. These trees really kind of fade into the background for me, so I'm just going to brush that with my clarity brush. And I am going to just focus on the trees for this brush. What I like to do is I do, like every single portion of my images, I like to use a different brush, regardless if I'm using the same slider, simply because if I want to take it away, yes, I can use the erase tool, but I want to make sure that I can focus on each specific portion of the image without having to just do one general brush. So each little section is going to have its own details. Some might need to be heightened on the slider, some might need less, but that way I can really manipulate each portion of the image to my liking. So I'm going to increase that a little bit more. I'm also going to increase my sharpness with this. I really want to see those trees. They're very much, they have a lot of texture. Her hair has highlights, so you can see the texture there. His hair has the light highlights from the light hitting the top of his head. Those are texture pieces that you can already see. Those are already sticking out to me in the image. Same with her dress. So I want to be able to kind of get some of that background as well. So I'm going to do the same thing with the sand here and the rocks. But with this, for me, this is a little bit brighter than what I would like to do. So I'm going to add my clarity and I'm going to bring that up to add those details, especially with the water. Again, sticking with the rocks here. And now I'm going to use my brush tool and decrease the exposure on that. For me, I really think that the background here is a little bit too bright for my liking, and for me it kind of takes my eyes away from them. So I'm just going to darken this ever so slightly, again, like I said before, using a different brush. But see how much of a difference that made already. Already it's made such a huge difference. Okay, so now I'm going to take another brush and I'm going to use my clarity, and I'm going to brush the dress. This dress was like a metallic, I don't even know what this fabric is called, but it had like like tinsel pieces in the fabric, and it was gorgeous, which gave it like a metallic look, which obviously would cause major highlights. I'm going to zoom back out here. So now what I'm going to do again, because that just shines out to me, I'm going to darken it a little bit more, just because I want to keep the rich detail, but I don't want to elevate the color. So already we're seeing more detail, we're seeing depth in color, we're really bringing out the focus of our couple here. I'm already loving that. So for me, this might be as much as I would do. I mean, there's really not a whole lot that needs to be done here. And now I'm going to go into my skin softening. I do not do any major body modifications to my clients. I don't use liquefied. I won't like swap out anything. The biggest thing I will do is do like the dimples, just because those change. And then I will do my slight skin softening. So I'm going to do that now. For me, I love hand editing this. And honestly, I skin soften more or less to even out the skin texture and make it a little bit softer. Especially with water, and specifically on this day. Usually North Shore is about, from where we're from, a good 20 degrees difference, and then that water is freezing. So bless her heart, she was getting into the water and had major goosebumps. So I will absolutely go in and just soften that skin a little bit. Already you can see that made a huge difference. And then just because of the angle, I'm just going to remove this. This is not necessarily necessary. You don't have to do this at all. I'm just doing it for the sake of this video as well. So boom, that looks amazing. I would say for me, that would be a final. If you really wanted to get picky about it, and this is me staring at an image for too long, like many of us do, we're like, oh my gosh, let's do a little bit more. I'm going to do that same brush technique and put it on the rocks, because I love, love, love rock texture. Like I said, I just love texture in general. I love bringing out depth and dimension in images, and if I can do that with a few little brush strokes, then I'm absolutely going to take that opportunity. Okay. To me, that looks fabulous. I would consider that image done, and it did not take us very long to finish that. So that is really what you can do with brushes. Brushes really are a great tool to enhance your images in different ways, if you're willing to take the time to do it, and if in reality it really doesn't take that long. So I personally really enjoy doing them. I really think the brushes make a difference in my images, especially once they're printed. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask them below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.